Hey everybody, it's Christina from Redefine Creative, and I am hoping that you had a wonderful and productive or creative International Scrapbooking weekend. I am creating my very first layout with my May for the Love of Homemade kits today, and I decided to follow a sketch. And so you can kind of see where I start with the sketch off on the left. So there's a spot for two photos. I'm going to do just one photo. And it kind of has that row of hearts down the left-hand side, and I'm going to use florals in place of hearts. And then kind of from there, I go rogue, as I usually do. So I wanted to use this really gorgeous watercolor floral paper, and I have paired it up with a black and white photo because I feel like that really helps everything kind of pop on the page. And then I took a little piece of that black and white pattern paper with the stripes and put it behind my purple layer that I'm putting my photo on top of. And I really like how that breaks up the floral in the background and gives a really good landing place for my photo. So then I've gone ahead and put just a small thin black mat around my picture, as well as I got in that little scrap of black and white polka dot paper. And now I'm going to use a bunch of the florals that came from close to my heart with this particular kit. And so I have that huge floral element on the left that is basically taking the place of where the hearts are in the sketch. And I'm going to go ahead and use my vellum flowers in coordination with these stickers. So I'm taking the stickers and I'm putting them on foam adhesive so that they're going to be dimensional. And then I'm taking one of the little vellum flowers and putting it in the center of the sticker flower. So I'm layering them up together. And I love the look that that creates. I'm also going to add some of the little leaves or vines behind my floral clusters. And because they're vellum, it really just gives a softness. So it's not going to draw away from anything, but it is going to add a little bit of texture and an additional layer to each of my floral clusters. I am going to have a third embellishment cluster because that's one of those things that, designers and people in the design world always talk about, that you want to have a visual triangle and everything in threes. So I'm trying to kind of decide. I don't really have to have a third area on this particular layout because the background paper is so busy that that kind of acts as a third. But I am going to add one, and it's going to go in the top right-hand corner of that purple layer, and it's just going to be small. So I'm using kind of a combination of glue because I don't want the glue to show necessarily with my vellum embellishing. So I'm adding kind of a combination, and I'm trying to hide my glue behind my embellishment layers. And I really love how that floral kind of sits tucked in there right next to this picture of my daughter. So there wasn't any particular story or long journaling that needed to go with this layout. It was just kind of a cute picture after she had gotten a haircut. And so I can just kind of create, and feel free to not have a ton of journaling space or anything like that. So just an everyday layout. I went ahead and added a couple of these little heart stickers, and because they had a thick white border, I didn't like the look of it as well. So I went ahead and just trimmed around the sticker to get rid of that white border so that I ended up with just the heart shape itself. This is where I'm going to go ahead and build that little cluster at the top. So I'm going to take a couple of the banner stickers on this sticker sheet and layer them up together. And then I'm going to find one other little floral element that I can carry over into that embellishment area. I'm going to put foam on just part of the flower because I'm going to have the flower going off the top edge of the page. So I only put foam behind the part that's actually going to be on the layout itself. And then I'm just adding that little vellum component to that one as well so that that kind of carries throughout the entire layout. I'm also kind of thinking at this point about my title. So in the sketch that I'm following, the title is above the photo on the right-hand side. And in this particular layout, that's really not where I'm kind of leading towards wanting my title to go. So I want to use this foam phrase that says shine bright, and I feel like it's going to be a better fit if I kind of tuck it in here at the bottom. So I'm not really following the sketch in that respect, and that is totally okay. So for me, sketches aren't so much about copying the full layout design as they are so much about just like giving me a starting place. So sometimes when I have a lot going on, or when I'm wanting to get a bunch of layouts done, or I haven't created in a little while, like there's lots of situations where a sketch just kind of jumpstarts me. Like it gives me a place to start. So even though the final layout doesn't necessarily look exactly like the original sketch, it got me going. And that to me is a big part of the purpose of using sketches. So if you're somebody who's like, I feel way too restricted when I use a sketch, really just think about it as a tool to get you started. So even if you go completely rogue in a totally different direction, that is fine, because you're creating and you're getting in there, jumping in with your supplies and getting things done. And there are no rules in scrapbooking, so there's no rule that says you have to like feel restricted and stick directly to the sketch. So give it a try, use a sketch as a starting spot to just jump right in, especially if you have created a kit for the month from your stash. And I would love to see what you're making, so make sure to tag me on social media, and I'll be back again soon. Bye, everybody.